Prime Minister Wael al-Halaqi conducted an inspection tour to the site where the terrorist explosion in Al-Masjid 86 took place last Monday, which killed and wounded scores of citizens, including women and children. Dr. al-Halaqi was briefed on the material damage caused by the blast, which left houses and shops cracked or collapsed. He said the maintenance workshops will get the damaged infrastructure repaired as quickly as possible and will work to meet citizens' needs of shelters until the reconstruction for their houses is completed. Terrorists targeted Al-Masjid 86 residential neighborhood with mortar shells, killing 3 citizens and injuring 7 others, including women. One mortar shell hit a house while the other fell on a minibus in the neighborhood. The relatives of the martyrs and the wounded branded the terrorist act that targeted innocent civilians as cowardly, reflecting the reality of the criminals who are supported by foreign forces and states which seek to deal a blow to Syria because of the latter's principled stance that reject Zionist and American hegemony on the region. Popular committees in Al Yarmouk refugee camp in Damascus called on Palestinian factions to unite and confront the terrorists who seek to undermine the security of the Palestinian people and conspire against their national cause. The committees explained in a statement that armed terrorist groups of the so-called Al-Nusra Front and other affiliations of Al-Qaeda are trying to infiltrate into Al Yarmouk refugee camp, shelling it with mortars and killing innocent civilians. An official source at the Syrian Foreign and Expatriates Ministry said Syria will stand firmly against any attempt to embroil the Palestinians into what is happening in Syria. The ministry added that what Syria is currently facing is largely because of its stances in support of the Palestinian people's struggle. The source called upon all the factions, organizations and leaderships of the Palestinian people to stay away from what is being plotted for them by the armed terrorist groups, which have announced their engagement with the schemes that are hostile to the aspirations and legitimate rights of the Palestinian people in service of the interest of Israel and its supporters. In Aleppo, a Syrian Arab Army unit targeted a terrorists' hideout at Al-Kallas factory in Al Layramoun area, killing and injuring many of them. Another army unit destroyed a Dashka-equipped car in Al-Hilluk area and killed a number of terrorists in Bustan al-Basha. In Aleppo countryside, Syrian army units carried out a number of operations in Al-Bab area, destroying an ammunition warehouse and a factory for making handmade missiles, in addition to a number of cars equipped with weapons. On the other hand, an official source dismissed as false the reports by certain TV channels about a plane having been downed in Aleppo. After the armed terrorist groups targeted Umayyad Mosque in Aleppo, they attacked the Arab Anglican Church with mortar rounds, destroying parts of it. The persons in charge of the church underlined that the attack would not prevent them from spreading peace and tolerance and rebuilding the worship places, as well as confronting all forms of terrorism supported by the US.
Mrs. Clinton, I want to thank you because what you have done by encouraging people to do not give up their gangs. This is what happened. The result was destroying our church. Anyway, we don't care. They destroyed the stones, but the people still alive until now. We are going to build our churches. We are going to build our mosques. We are going to build our country. We are going to build our human being.
In Idlib, an army unit clashed with terrorist groups who had perpetrated acts of sabotage and assaulted citizens and law enforcement troops in Mhambil and Al-Frike in Jisr al-Shughur, killing several members of the group. Among the terrorists identified was Hussein Sattouf. The army also clashed with a terrorist group that had detonated an explosive device on Idlib al-Mastoumi road. They killed several gunmen and captured others. In Homs, a Syrian army unit destroyed terrorists' hideouts and vehicles. Syrian army units killed a number of terrorists in the areas located to the north of the Civilian Affairs building, to the east of the castle, and near Al-Zawiya and Al-Qasimi mosques in Bab Houd, as well as in Al-Diwan neighborhood. In Deir el-Zor, an army unit targeted a terrorist group in Al-Mayadeen in the governorate's suburbs. An official source said the operation resulted in killing and wounding several gunmen. Among the killed terrorists identified were those affiliated to the so-called Al-Qaqa battalion.